What's up, you guys, and welcome to today's video. If you can tell by the title, I have some pretty significant news to share with you all, and it's something I've been thinking about quite a bit recently, and I just feel like I have to get it off my chest and tell you guys what's going on with my life. So, if you hadn't already checked out my 5 things to know about me, my get to know me tag, then you would know that I love, love, love children so much, and I just want to spend my life dedicating my time to helping children. And also in that video, which I will link down below, I spoke about how I'm in school as an English major and child and family studies minor to express that passion and become a child advocacy lawyer. So, recently, a few things have happened in my life to where I changed that around a little. So, I'm just going to come right out and say it like ripping off a band-aid. I'm not going to law school. Now, I know it's like a huge thing because you go into college and you're like, man, going to law school, I'm going to be a lawyer, I'm going to be successful, I'm going to own my own firm, I'm going to be partner, like all these things. And you get there and you're like, wow, this is not at all what I really want to do with my life. So here's what happened. I was trying to look into law schools in the areas where I wanted to study, which would have been California, Texas, or Miami, or Florida in general. So I was looking up information about those places and the different law schools there because I went to California for spring break, as you guys already know, and it was beautiful and amazing. And I was like, man, I want to live out here. And law school would be the perfect time because it's the first 3 years after undergrad, and I get to live there. I wouldn't want to live there forever, but I would love to spend 3 beautiful years in California. Y'all, let's pause. I looked at those California prices, those California apartments, the prices of those beautiful California law schools, and I laughed. We ain't going to California no more. California expensive, y'all, and I do not know how. I knew it was expensive, but I didn't know it was that expensive. I was like, okay, we can't do that. So X'd out Cali. Sorry, Cali, and sorry, Cali people, but y'all expensive. Why y'all so expensive? Wow. Anyway, so that left Texas and Florida as options, and I was looking into some pretty good schools in both areas that were like $20,000 less a year for tuition, which $20,000, you guys, a year. $60,000 cheaper overall over my entire law school career. That sounds beautiful. So those were the contenders, and Miami was starting to win and all this other stuff. But something that I looked into, because I'm a very future oriented person, so I do a lot of research ahead of time to see what I'm getting myself into, what I need to prepare for. I just like to have a solid plan. I like to have a solid backup plan so I can know where I'm going, with my life. And if something were to happen to change something, I'm like, okay, well, that's fine because this is my option B. That's just how I function. So I did a lot of research, and a lot of the lawyers and judges said that either they were happy they took a year off between undergrad and law school, or they wish they would have. So I was like, okay, I'm a Tennessee resident. If I were to take a year off, move to Miami or move to Dallas or move to wherever I would go to law school for a year, the year before, and take a year off, establish residency, and start working in that area. That would be beneficial to my law career because I'll be a resident, which means tuition would be even cheaper, and I'd get a feel of the area that I would be living in for the next 3 years for law school. So that was the plan, and I was looking into it. But a year off, you don't want to just work at some restaurant or work at some convenience store, even though some people do, and that's fine. But in my opinion, I wanted to work on something that would look good on my resume when I was going to apply to law school. So I was like trying to figure it out. I love children. I'm going into child advocacy law, so hello, let's work with children. So I was like, oh, we could do another summer camp like I did this past summer where I worked at a Girl Scout camp. We could do working at some sort of daycare facility or something in that nature. But then I ran across Teach for America. Yo, I looked up Teach for America, and I've heard of it several times, but I never looked into it. And when I tell you, I looked into that and I was blown away. I was like, this looks so interesting. This looks up my alley. Like, I would love to do this. I started getting ideas on how I would decorate my classroom and my reading corner and what rugs I would get and what games I would play with the children. I was getting so excited, you guys. I've never been that excited before in my life. Let me repeat that. I have never been that excited before in my life. That moment was the moment I knew. I remember it perfectly. I mean, it happened like 2 months ago, but I remember it perfectly. I was sitting on my bed in between class and work. I had a few hours to kill. I was looking up things to do in between undergrad and law school. I saw it and oh my gosh, I got so happy. I felt overjoyed. I felt overjoyed with the prospect of being able to go in and teach. I had to sit back and have a moment with myself and say, wow, I have never in my life gotten this excited before for law school, or for the idea of being a lawyer, or for the idea of any legal activity. Never got that excited. I never, ever got that excited. Even with the stress of law school behind me, even the thought of being over and done with law school, I was still freaking out. I never got that excited. If anything, I got more anxiety because I was like, okay, wow, we're in law school. I don't really want to work with the judges. I just want to work with the children. That's not what a lawyer does. I would have been lucky as a lawyer if I even got to see the child I was working with in person, and that's where I was missing it. I tried to take the title of lawyer and mend it in my head with something where I would be personally talking to the child, and that's not at all what lawyers do. I just wanted the title because growing up, not in my household, but in life, at school, on TV, everywhere you turn, there's two professions that people say you are the most successful at: law, med. That's it. 6th grade, I had these options, and I knew I hated medicine because I can't stand blood and I can't stand math. Bye. No, I'm not. No. Law. I love to read, and that's all I knew. I knew law school was constructed of a lot of reading, and I know I love to read. So I was like, you know what? Doctor, a lawyer, man, I'd be good as a lawyer. I love to read. Why not? 6th grade me, right? 8th grade me, man, I really love children. I enjoy being around children. I enjoy working with children. I just love children. I just love their energy. I love their innocence. I love their imagination. I love their free spirit. I love children. I wonder if there's a law out there that caters to children. And I found family law / child advocacy law, and I ran with it. I never thought that's what I want to do with the rest of my life. I just knew I loved children, and no matter what I did, I wanted to work with children. So I took the two and mixed them together. It wasn't a revelation or a feeling of, yes, this is my calling. It was just okay, this is what I need to do to be successful. So I have the success part and I have the happy part. what makes me happy, which is children. But then going into college and going into high school, I slowly started to realize that being a lawyer wasn't what I wanted it to be. Like I said, I was taking it and trying to twist it into more of a social worker position, and that's not at all what it was. There's a difference between working for or working with children. As a lawyer, I would be working for the children / for their parents or guardian. I wouldn't be working with the children. And as a teacher, I can spend the rest of my life until I retire working with children, being there, sitting crisscross applesauce on the carpet with them and teaching them games, doing math manipulatives, having reading time. That just makes me so, the idea of doing all of that makes me so overjoyed. Like, y'all have no idea how happy it makes me. Like y'all don't know. Y'all do not know. And after I had that revelation when I was at home sitting on my bed, it was like a huge weight was lifted off my shoulders. But this is gonna sound corny. The sky opened up and the sun shined down. And as corny and whack as that sounds, that's the truth. Like, I don't know how many of y'all feel like this, but it's the feeling of, man, I found where I'm supposed to be. I'm supposed to do this. I'm supposed to be a teacher. I'm supposed to be with these children and make a everlasting impression on their lives. That's what I'm supposed to do. And I've never been more sure. I've never been more confident in this decision than I have with anything ever in my life. So I immediately went to my advisor and I made an appointment. I said, girl, take off that pre-law. We ain't doing that no more. We ain't doing that no more. We changing that around. I'm not having that stress, that anxiety, that fear, like that crippling fear. Oh my gosh, y'all, I was so afraid of going to law school. I was so afraid of being a lawyer and not being good enough. I'm a very sensitive person. I'm a very, what's the word? When you feel it, sensitive. No, sympathetic. I'm a very sympathetic and sensitive person. So I cry when I see other people cry, and I don't know you, but I cry. I'm extremely sensitive. So I was like, man, somebody's going to be crying in a law case, and I'm going to bust out in tears, and how unprofessional is that? So I have to work on myself, and that's changing me. Versus with these children, oh my gosh, I love kids, y'all. I love kids. I do. And when I had that revelation, I was like, I know I'm not going to be able to work with kids like I want to as a lawyer. That was the best thing that has happened to me. And I'm just so excited. And when I went to my advisor and told her all this, she was like, so you have some options. You can change your major to Child and Family Studies and you would get your license. Or you can change your minor to Elementary Education where you would get your license and your master's. I was like, girl, what? She said, yeah, with Elementary Education, K through 5, you will get your teacher's licensure in Tennessee, which is a nationally accredited teacher's license place. So I'm still learning stuff, y'all. And then I would get my master's degree. So after my undergrad is over, I would be able to go into my master's program where I would have an internship actually working at a school teaching children. So I was like, yes, let me do this. I wouldn't have to change my major at all. My major is still English. I'm still going to graduate on time and everything is good. But now I have, instead of a Child and Family Studies minor, I have an Elementary Education minor. So I'm really excited about that. And as far as the money, I do want to address this because I feel like people have this weird misconception about how much lawyers actually make. Let me tell you guys something. Family law / child advocacy law is one of the lowest paid law professions. Let me say that again. One of the lowest paid. So my starting pay would be, in the 30,000s. Meanwhile, my starting pay as an elementary teacher, in the 40 to 50, especially with my master's degree. So, and it goes up every year. Like the longer you teach, the higher your pay. So, getting stressed out doing cases and making less and having to work my butt off for 10 to 15 years until I get to partner or that high rank to get those big figures, which those big figures in terms of child advocacy law wouldn't be that big. Not in the 100,000s like criminal justice cases. No, girl. More like, 60, 70, 80, It's not all y'all think it is. It's really not. And so doing all that stuff to get that pay versus doing something I love, waking up every morning and being excited to go to my job and spend time with the children I'll be teaching and getting, I know in Dallas the starting pay for elementary school teachers and maybe teachers in general, I haven't looked too close into it, but it's $50,000. And that's the starting pay. First year, before you factor in my master's degree. And then you got my second year, my third year, it increases. So it doesn't do that in Tennessee, which I did not know until recently. So I ain't staying in Tennessee to teach, but I'm feeling Dallas. I really am. Dallas or Miami, but Dallas is going to give me that more homey vibe than Miami would, even though I know Dallas is very, very busy. Actually, if y'all know anything about any of the places I mentioned, anywhere in Texas, not just Dallas, and anywhere in Florida, not just Miami, and if y'all know about how teaching works there, please leave it in the comment section below and let me know, because I really don't know. And just to like sum up a little more information about me, I am a sophomore, about to be a junior. So please pass on any wisdom you have. I'm not an expert by any means. I just decided to go into teaching 2 months ago, but that's what college is about. It's about finding yourself and understanding what path you want to take with your life and your career. And it's been an amazing journey so far. So I'm really excited. And please leave any questions, any advice that you have for me down below. I'd love to get your advice. I'd love to talk more with y'all about it. Leave ideas on what other videos you want to see regarding my from lawyer to teacher journey. And I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And hopefully I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye guys.